1 in 1,000 ends up ingesting that life-ending medication. 1 in 1,000. Now, equally scholarly research in other states reveals that there is a covert underground practice of intentional medication-induced death in every state in the nation. And the incidence there is 1 in 250. So it appears that legalizing and regulating aid in dying reduces its incidence by a factor of 4. And during the question and answer period, we can talk about some of the reasons that might contribute to that if you'd like. Another myth, and this one I am always eager to overturn, is that aid in dying is somehow an alternative to hospice and that it deters end-of-life comfort care. The opposite is true. Hospice and palliative care thrive in death with dignity states, with rising penetration rates and lengths of stay. Doctors become more knowledgeable and pain care becomes more thorough. Another myth is just a few doctors, maybe 2 or 3, will do all the prescribing. They'll be the death doctors. But every year, the number of participating physicians rises in Oregon. At this time, over 400 have participated either by being an attending physician, serving that role, or a consulting physician. In 2008, 59 physicians wrote the 88 prescriptions that dying patients in Oregon received. Another mistaken notion is that people who have life-ending medication in their possession want to take it. They don't want to take it. They want to live as long as there is any shred of quality to their lives. They just want to have that medication. They want to have it in case they need it, in case their suffering becomes unbearable. And for 1/3, a full 1/3 of the people who do obtain that medication, those circumstances never arise. The medication remains unused and must be disposed of when they die. All this leads to what I think of as the most fundamental misconception of them all, and that is that the purpose and intention of the practice of aid in dying is to cause a patient's death. And in fact, the purpose and intention is to give peace of mind, and that effect occurs 100% of the time, whether the patient takes medication or not. Families see that peace of mind immediately. They see an improvement in mood and the quality of life once patients know that they have control over their suffering. They report their loved ones slept through the night, ate a meal, told a joke. I heard them say, "We've got Dad back." Choice, control, free will, personhood, they have been honored and restored. Well, why is that so important? Free will is the essence of our humanity. Many theologians believe that free will is what it means when we say that we're created in God's image. We're free to choose. And only a life of thoughtful judgment and conscious choices satisfies the yearning for authentic wholeness. Some of you might have seen in July, the New York Times carried a story of the care and the intention with which the Sisters of St. Joseph are managing the individual deaths of their aged nuns as the entire order is gradually dying out. Although their moral code does not condone aid in dying, they too are exercising choices. We approach our living and our dying in the same way, with discernment, Sister Mary Lou Mitchell told the reporter. Maybe this is one of the messages we can send to society by modeling it. Well, ideas of right and wrong may shift from one religious or moral construct to another, but a goal of authentic wholeness will transcend them all. When we've built a set of values and beliefs over a lifetime, it can feel like torture to have them wrest from us as death approaches. Ronald Dworkin, a great constitutional scholar, said it best. He said, making someone die in a way that others approve, but he believes a horrifying contradiction of his life, is a devastating, odious form of tyranny. Every person, wherever they live, can experience an authentic acceptance of mortality and shape their own end-of-life destiny. And there are concrete tasks to avoid everyone's nightmare, which is ending a battle with some chronic or terminal disease like cancer, a long battle finally ending in an intensive care unit. Compassionate Choices has launched a national campaign to encourage people to accomplish those tasks. Now, the most important step is to talk about it. Talk about it actually and specifically. For example, I just read a poll that more than 80% of Californians tell pollsters that their loved ones know exactly or have a good idea what their wishes would be if they were in a persistent coma. But only 50% say they've actually talked to their loved ones about this. Well, this is nothing but a recipe for family distress and discord in crisis. Almost 80% of Americans have not completed an advance directive to document their health care wishes and appoint a surrogate decision maker. Everyone should do this, young and old. For example, practice replacing the phrase, "if something happens to me," with a more realistic, "when I die." My staff joked about how this change is a little like a person coming out in LGBT terms. We need to come out of the closet as mortal, share our true nature with our families. We hope to promote and prompt 1 million profound and personal conversations in kitchen tables and medical offices around America. But instead of calling it the Coming Out Mortal campaign, we're just calling it Good to Go. It's a good name, isn't it? Well, we have tools to help you review your values and beliefs, tools to talk with them, with your doctor and loved ones. We hope that people will take advantage of this to articulate a balance between aggressive care and peaceful dying in the setting of terminal illness, and formalize the resulting decisions in living wills and other parts of advance directives. We plan to model how these conversations can be lighthearted, and they can still fulfill their crucial function to avoid unnecessary suffering and prevent family tragedies like the one that was endured by the family of Terry Schiavo. I brought or sent copies of our Good to Go resource guide. They're on the table outside with some additional materials, and I encourage you to take them with you. The social environment is changing. I sense that human mortality isn't the political third rail that it used to be. For all the death panel hysteria of this August and September, those charges never really did get any traction. And the fear-mongering politicians peddling that kill granny hyperbole have just joined those who embarrassed themselves a few years ago by elbowing their way into the Schiavo family tragedy. They just look silly and opportunistic and mean. Social progress takes concerted and sustained effort. For 50 years, advocates for human dignity and self-determination focused on equal opportunity for women and minorities and reproductive choice. But now, at the dawn of the 21st century, new battle lines are drawn between patients who want control over unnecessary suffering at the end of life and authoritarians who would keep control elsewhere. End-of-life choice is the human liberty movement of the 21st century. This is the arena where dignity and liberty stride forward today. People who care about core principles of justice and human dignity feel drawn to this movement. The struggle for end-of-life choices is a movement whose time has come, and I hope that some of you within the sound of my voice will join this movement, will join Compassionate Choices, and will make your voices heard. Thank you very much.